everyone, welcome to the Crazy Desert Knitting channel. This channel focuses on knitting, crocheting, and other fiber related items. I'm so excited you're all here. I am Mel, the Crazy Desert Knitter, coming to you from the sunny city of Phoenix, Arizona. I'm so happy you guys are here with me today. All of my new viewers, welcome to the Crazy Desert Knitting family. So excited you're here. Thank you for coming and visiting. For all my returning viewers, thank you guys so much for coming back and seeing this craziness that is me. Okay, wow. So let's get some housekeeping items out of the way. First and foremost, everybody is always welcome here on this channel and to visit and chat with me as well. If you guys are looking for ways to contact me, go ahead and check out that description box below. Everything you need to know is in there, including all the show notes. That includes names of patterns, designers, links if I've got them, names of yarn if I know them, and all that fun jazz. Today is a beautiful sunny day here in Phoenix, and as you'll notice, I've kind of sort of kept the same setup from my reflections video series that I'm currently working on, or I'm going through for my own sake, I guess. I do apologize for the last episode. The sun was at the wrong point and it was the wrong place in the house to try to knit. My house is made up of a lot of windows and it's very sunny in Phoenix. You guys do the math, it kept blowing out the colors and I apologize in advance. So let's go ahead, make yourself a beverage of your choice. Today mine is just some Crystal Light in a mug with some ice. I will get to this mug later on. Okay, so for my first and foremost finished object, that is not it, by the way. I just buried it under there. Oh, where'd it go? I know it's in here. Hang on. So the reason why everything is so stacked so closely next to me will be explained later on, but there we go. And for everybody who is curious, today should be a pretty good day. I made notes. We'll see if it actually works. I am not wearing anything fiber related. I do apologize, even though it is a beautiful spring day here in Phoenix. You'll understand why when I say I just couldn't put it on when it comes to the life update. Okay, so this is my first, and let's be honest, completely finished object. Sorry, I'll actually speak to the camera and not put this over my mouth, so anybody who has problems and needs to see people speak can see me. This is the Reversible Pipe Dishcloth. This is a free pattern by Maier, M-A-I-E-R. Check the top of the screen. I will also put it there, or it's in the show notes below. And really great pattern, by the way. Just letting you guys know. I think I added one or two repeats extra. I think actually I added like one repeat extra, maybe two repeats extra of the pattern on the inside here. This has been folded for a while. And the reason why I did that is her dishcloth is a little bit, it's designed to be smaller, but you can always make it larger. So I just made sure that I made it larger. We like larger dishcloths in my house, so that's what I did. Boom. It's a great pattern. I would totally knit this again, by the way. Fantastic pattern. Really great, really easy to follow. It wasn't so mind-numbingly boring that I kind of just went, eh, but it also did not require so much concentration that I didn't have a problem following it. So there's that. I used Paintbox recycled cotton worsted. This is the Sea Green colorway 131308. This is 100 gram cotton, 100% recycled. It's approximately 169 yards or 155 meters. Before you ask, yes, I will be doing a review of this cotton yarn. In the interim, would I use this cotton yarn again? Definitely. A, I like the fact that it's recycled. B, it's actually fairly nice. But it actually holds up to some durability. This has been used a couple of times and been thrown in the washing machine already. Kind of stole it back from my mom, I'll be honest with you. So my mom really likes it. She's used it a couple of times already. It's kept its color really well besides that part. But that is my one and only finished object. Well, it's not my only finished object. It's the one that I, say is completely finished because I don't have any ends to clip off, nothing. So it is 100% finished. Now I'm on to what I'm calling mofos, mostly finished objects, which, by the way, if you guys have a dirty mind, I do apologize. Not what I stand. Mostly an FO. I should really say mostly an FO. Let me tell you that much. So you guys saw this last time. Well, I'm not really sure anybody could see the color last time. This is Malt by Tincanknits. This is also a free pattern on Ravelry. I'm sorry. It's a free pattern everywhere, actually, but it's on Ravelry if anybody's interested. I'll link it to Ravelry. This is, again, it's Malt by Tincanknits. This was knit out of Ultra Pima Cotton by Cascade, something that had been in my stash for ages. I'm going to turn it sideways because, ouch, holding stuff up kind of hurts. Okay, so this is sideways, just to let everybody know. There is this really cool garter stitch pattern in here, along with the rest of the stockinette. So it gives it just a smidgen of interest. This is totally a beginner pattern. It is fantastic. Now, most of you guys are sitting there going, well, it looks like you bound off. Yes, I have bound off. I have actually blocked this blanket. The reason why it's not a completely finished object is because the only thing I have not done is snipped off my ends. I have several ends that they've all been woven in. Again, they've all been woven in, but I do not snip off my leftovers or my extras until after the blanket has been blocked, or after my garments in general have been blocked. The reason why is I want to make sure that everything is stretched out and nothing's going to pucker or pull or anything like that before I snip them. I learned the hard way. That's a story for another day if anybody is interested. So I always leave all my ends on until after the item is blocked. But that's why I call this one a mostly finished object. It's even been blocked and I just haven't snipped off the edges. So I really should just sit down after I record this, or even as I'm editing or something later on, and snip off the ends. That's all it is. It is going to go in my gift basket. It is nice. It is light. I did knit this. So this yarn is actually a DK weight yarn. The pattern calls for a worsted weight yarn. It recommends the worsted weight yarn be knit on a size US 8 or 5mm needle. I knit really tight, so I actually typically go up a needle size for every pattern, but because this was DK weight yarn, I actually stuck with that 5mm or US 8 size knitting needle to finish this pattern. Now, it is a little, what's the word? The fabric is not very tightly woven. That's okay for me. I kind of saw this more as a summertime blanket than a winter blanket. The reason why is, again, I live in Phoenix, and a lot of my friends who have kids here in Phoenix. Winter heavy blankets don't really do us a whole lot of good here. We need stuff that's a little bit lighter sometimes. And so that's kind of where I was coming from with this. Okay, that's all I can say about this. It's a great pattern. Go check it out. Again, it's free, totally beginner friendly. Seriously, go check it out. It's great. One second. Okay. Whoop. There we go. Thank you guys so much for bearing with me on that one. Again, not moving too great today. I'll explain why in a few minutes. This is my second mostly finished project. I'm so excited. These took me a lot longer to finish than normal. The reason why is I did have to stop for what I'm calling a current whip. These are the London Bee Ridge socks, designed by the Knitting Expat Designs, Mina Phillip. Am I saying that right? Yes. Nina Phillip. Yes, Nina Phillip. These are knit out of Plucky Classic. I am pretty sure you guys cannot get this colorway anymore unless for some reason they still dye it. The reason why is it wasn't just in, it's only been in my stash for 6 months or so. However, it has been in somebody else's stash significantly longer than that. So I have no idea. I have officially lost the ball band for it, which makes me really sad because I kind of liked the ball band and I had it last episode. No idea where it went. That's okay. We're rolling with it. Again, these are the London Bee Ridge socks. I really enjoyed, I'm actually just gonna hold up one of them. I really enjoyed this pattern. These are considered mostly finished. Why? They're not blocked. I put them on a sock blocker just for the purpose of showing you, but that's about it. They have not been blocked, but I really like them. And you can tell they haven't been blocked because this is where, this line right here, is where my magic loop hits. There's also a line on the other side where I switch the start of my row. I'm sorry, it's the start of my row. I can talk, I swear. It's the start of my row, and so the jogs are a little weird. So I will show you guys this side. This line right here is actually where I do socks on magic loop. So that's kind of where my magic loop sits, basically. It's halfway through the sock. I thought this was a fantastic pattern. I have never knit an Nina Expat design or Expat knitting Expat designs. I'm sorry, I'm going to say that right eventually. Totally check out the top of the screen. Please do not listen to my fumblings. It's all good. I've never knit one of her patterns before. Now, her patterns come in tons of sizes for your feet. So for those people who have narrow feet versus those people who have really large feet, they come in multiple sizes. Fantastic. So I'm not going to give away the secret sauce to this because it is a paid for pattern. And I actually wrote down how much it was. So this is a paid for pattern. It is approximately $5.93, or I believe it's 4 pounds. I believe she's from Britain, so 4 pounds. I think is what I read. It's great. We bought on Ravelry. Again, wholeheartedly recommend her pattern. She has extra small sizes to extra large sizes. This was the 3rd largest size. And I really like, I've done a rounded toe before, but I really like her rounded toe. It was very nice. I really liked her rounded toe. The only thing I changed was the heel in the pattern that she gave us was a little bit different. I just did a short row heel, somewhat successfully, somewhat unsuccessfully. It's only been like the 2nd time I've ever done a short row heel. And I haven't had, you know, massive, huge gaping holes in my heel, which has been fantastic. I like my socks nice and tight. So I knit these at a US 1. On this number of stitches, I'm not going to give away the secret sauce because she's got some really great patterns. I totally recommend checking them out again. I think I need to go up to the next sock size, even though I like my socks really tight. Most people knit their socks on a US 1, maybe even a US 2. I knit tight, like I knit tight. And I know I want my socks nice and tight, so I knit extra tight. And I know that because I can throw my yarn and I can also pick my yarn. I use this as my throwing motion. I use this as my picking motion. I don't know why. It's actually, they're both with the same hand. I don't know. So I can throw my yarn and I can also pick my yarn. So American style versus European style knitting, I think is what a lot of people call it. But I know if I throw my yarn, I'm slightly tighter on my gauge than even if I pick my yarn. So by making sure I went down a needle size this time to a US 1, first time I've ever actually knit socks on a US 1, by the way. By going down a needle size and by throwing my yarn, combining those two things, I made some really tight socks. So these right now, unblocked, just fit my foot. Which I really like it because I really like tight socks. But note to self that if I do this again, I might want to go up in one of her designs, I might want to go up to the next size foot, next size larger foot, just to give myself a little bit of extra room. So again, this was made out of Plucky Classic. Comes in a 100-gram skein for approximately 425 yards per skein. It's an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, which is like my personal preferred sock knitting yarn to use. I think that's all I can say about these. They're great. Check them out. I didn't notice until I was putting my socks back with my other stuff over here. I've been knitting a lot of things in navy yarn. I don't know why. I don't know how that happened. Apparently I actually had navy yarn in my stash. Who knew? Sorry. Back to what I was doing. On to my mostly finished objects. And my first mostly finished object is this. Now this cute little baby sweater is called the Child Tab Front Jersey and Optional Booties Baby Sweater. I do not know who created this. Start out. If I knew, I would totally give them credit, but I don't. So one of my mom's sewing friends, so my mom's a sewer, so her and her daughter are trying to knit this baby sweater. And they had gotten through basically the tab, which this is the tab. I should tell you guys why it's called tab front. Okay, so there are actually 2 buttonholes right here and right here that are supposed to have buttons. They don't. But if you unbutton it, whoop, it opens up. And then you put it over the child's head and you rebutton it. Okay, that's why. So if the tab falls down from now on, you'll understand. So they got through the tab, this top part here, they got through the tab and they have questions. They had problems doing it. And so they said, hey, what do I do with this? This is the instruction. Well, not understanding the complete instruction, they sent me the 1-page directions basically for the sweater. They purchased this pattern along with the yarn to complete this pattern on their travels, which was pre-COVID. And now they're mother and daughter are trying to knit this thing together from different states. Letting you guys know that. They're in different states. They're trying to knit it. And I'm like looking at the directions. I'm like, okay, I thought I knew what the directions were. But then I sat here going, you know what? Let's double check. I'm going to knit the whole garment with you. I'm going to knit the whole garment and then tell you how to do it. They had a whole lot of problems attaching this right here. I don't blame them. I had problems understanding the directions too. I can tell you that this pattern is written much like older patterns are written. So it's not a modern pattern, not by a long shot, not by the picture of pattern cover that they sent me, not by the way the directions were written. Again, a whole baby sweater pattern, and baby sweater and the optional booties were all on like half a page, like 3/4 of a page, and that included the schematic, okay? And that took up like 1/4 of the page was just the schematic of the sweater. So these directions were not massively involved. Now, it's not a complicated pattern at all. The only complicated part was understanding how to attach the tab. Sometimes they told you when to break your yarn. Other times they didn't tell you when to break your yarn. So I completely understand why mother and daughter, my mom's friend and her daughter, were having some problems with this sweater. But now that I figured it out, it's a fantastic little baby sweater. So the back is really plain. I didn't show you guys the back, I'm sorry. So it is knit flat and seamed. So it is knit flat and it is seamed together, and they do not tell you how to seam it. They just say sew it together. I would use the mattress stitch, at least up the 2 sides. I will be honest with you, I am not 100% happy with how my underarms came together. They're both done differently, and I have no idea how. That was my own hair there, sorry. But this is still an unfinished object, 1, because it needs to be blocked, and I have to block it before I can sew on the buttons. And 2, I need to sew on the buttons. I have actually woven in all of my ends See? I've woven in all the ends. I just don't clip my ends, as I said before, until after I block a project. So I just need to block it, and then I do need to put the buttons on, and it will be finished. Now, I made this using, oops, Rico, let me get the tag out. So this was done using Rico Baby Merino DK. I can actually see that. I don't know. We'll see. I have no idea how far away my camera is either, which is really strange. This is extra fine superwash merino. This is DK weight. The pattern is written for DK or worsted / Aran weight yarn, and it calls for 150 grams. I used just over 150 grams. Now, this Rico Baby is 25 grams per skein. I had 7 skeins. Doing the math here, guys. That's 175 grams. I had 2 or 3 rows I needed my third skein, or my last skein for. And then I used it to sew. I think I still have about 20 grams of this left. I can probably get a teeny tiny, like a newborn baby bear hat out of this or something like that. Probably what I'm going to end up doing. I never told you guys the color. Sorry. This is, I have no idea what color. It doesn't tell me what color it is. Sorry, guys. I have no idea. But again, this is Rico Baby Merino DK. I would totally use this yarn again, number one. Love it. It's very, very soft, very squishy. I like the twist on it. Totally love it. Downfall. Only comes in 25 gram skeins, or balls or cakes or whatever we're calling this. I think they're actually considered a ball because it's not really a skein. If it came in a larger skein or ball, it would be perfect. Like a 50 gram ball would be awesome. It only comes in 25. That's the only downfall of this yarn. Just saying. My second work in progress is actually a set of 2. So this cute little Lovey, this is a Lovey, by the way. Da-da-da. This cute little Lovey, all right, I'm just gonna hold it like this. This cute little Lovey is the Minnie inspired Lovey by Randi Marlowe, which is Stich'n Away Crochet. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. Not really sure how this all happened, but it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it comes with the head as well as the little Lovey blanket and this really cute ruffled Lovey piece. Now you can do the head piece and a different Lovey blanket all you want. So this one was originally made for my best friend and her daughter. However, I realized I can make multiples of these. So I decided to do a set of 2. Now, I did the other one. So I made another Lovey blanket, and I'm all the way done with the blanket. So this is a Lovey blanket, and these 2 are not the same Lovey blankets, just to let you know. I'll get to this one in just a second. But I was in the process of making a second head, and I'm going to actually make it Mickey-inspired head, not a Minnie-inspired head. And the only difference is there's no bow. So I'm doing another one without the bow. Now, I didn't bring it out here for you guys to see because it's just some black circles and it doesn't make any sense. But I finished the ears for the second one. So the ears are done and the head up into right about here is done. I need to stuff the head to finish closing it. That's it. That's what I have done. I need to find the polyfill in the house and I just haven't found the polyfill. My bad. So this is the first one. And again, this is by Randi Marlowe, Stich'n Away Crochet. I'll link it down below. This one here, I had problems finding Lovey blankets. I didn't want to do the whole frill for a Mickey blanket because, you know, and I don't think all girls like the frill. Me personally, I like this one better, but that's just me. But I'm not a frilly girl kind of person, but that's okay. So this Lovey blanket, I found a crochet tutorial on YouTube. I will link it down below. It is crochet tutorial number 38, our Simple Lovey Blanket by Foxy Creation. Again, I'm going to link that down below. And it was this little Lovey pointed, And it's not completely pointed, which is really nice. When it drapes, it's got this nice ruffly kind of effect. So I used this pattern to do this one, and then I'm going to attach the Lovey head to this. Both of these are knit out of Paintbox Simply Aran, which is 100% acrylic yarn. They're the basic black colorway, the white, and then this red colorway as well. Guys, there's 120? 98? I don't know. There's a bunch of colors. So if you want to use, you know, different colors for the blanket, like you want to do pink for the girl and blue for a boy, or you want to toss in some yellow or whatever, go for it. It's just acrylic yarn. It's what I had in my stash. It was great. And my mini bow keeps turning. I don't know why. There we go. I do a lot of my like loveys and stuff like that. Most of my baby stuff has to be washable. That's just my only thing. On to my absolute last whip. And I know it sounds kind of weird. I'm typically a fairly monogamous knitter. So the fact that I have technically 3 whips going is disconcerting to me, to say the least. And my last one, I kind of told you guys I wanted to start on. Whoops, where is it? There it is. I want to do the Longline Cardigan by Joji Locatelli. And so I told you guys I needed to work out my math. And I was right, I do still need to work out my math. I think I've officially worked out my math. Yes. I actually did 2, not 1, but 2 gauge swatches to figure out my math. And so this one here is knit on a size 5 needle, US size 5. Sorry guys, I forgot the millimeters. This one is knit on a US size 4. Now, the pattern calls for fingering weight yarn on US size 4 needles. And it's also designed to have 0 to 4 inches of negative ease. I always go for 0 inches of negative ease. Number 1. Number 2, I knit tight. So I always automatically start by going up a needle size when I do my swatches or my gauge swatches. As it turns out, my yarn that I chose, it is a fingering weight yarn. However, it is a slightly thinner fingering weight yarn, or a lighter fingering weight yarn, than the yarn that Joji Locatelli used in the design of the pattern. So I did 2 swatches. I wasn't 100% sure I liked this one, so I went down a needle size and I tried it again. And I really like this one. Now you're looking at them going, okay, they're pretty much the same size. And in answer to everybody's question, yes, they are almost pretty much the exact same size. They are not the same number of stitches, as it turns out, nor are they the same number of rows. Just thought I should tell you. I lost count when I was casting on, and then I lost count as I was knitting up for this one to make it match this one. I took these 2 swatches to my knitting group and said, hey, which one do you guys like better? It was almost a unanimous vote, and I was thinking the same thing. Definitely the US 4. This is going to be a nice light cardigan for me. I'm super excited. Now, because I went down a needle size, I need to go up a garment size. I know, crazy concept. I actually have to go up a garment size. Scary thing is I only have to go up 1 garment size. I was going to knit a 3XL. I think I'm actually going to knit a 4XL. Her patterns are nice and size inclusive. I believe they go up to 5XL. When I actually cast on later this afternoon, because I am truly ready to cast on finally. When I cast on later this afternoon, I am going to, next episode, when I show it to you, I'll go in more in depth on the sizing and things like that. But yeah, so I'm going to knit a 4XL. I have plenty of yarn. I have caked up 4 skeins. I have 2 more skeins of this yarn that are uncaked. What is this yarn, do you ask? It's beautiful. So this is KFI Luxury Collection Indulgence Hand Painted Fingering Yarn. This is 75% superwash merino, 25% polyamide. I did not know this was superwash. Sweet bonus for me. I'll be honest, I am probably not going to remember to hand wash it all that much, especially if it's something that I wear a lot. And these colorings are something I'll probably wear a lot. So it is a 3.52 ounce, 100 grams skein. There is approximately 494 yards. So as I said, it's a slightly lighter fingering weight yarn. I wouldn't classify this as lace weight. I can talk. I wouldn't classify this as lace weight, but it is a lighter fingering weight yarn. It's a little bit lighter than your typical sock. Just letting you guys know. It is great. They call this color Neo Noir, Neo Noir. I don't know. Check out the description box below. It's been great. I got this on a retreat that I went on last year before COVID hit. Last February. So it's been marinating in my stash for over a year already. And I bought tons of it just to make sure I had plenty to do a project with. I can knit a 5X in this pattern with this yarn and still have leftovers based on what the yardage requirements are. So hopefully I'll have plenty. Woo! So that is my last whip. I am ready to cast on this afternoon. I am super excited about that. Wow! Okay, drink break. Okay, so I thought I would just bring this in. I'm gonna go through my stash enhancements, I should say, or enhancing my stash. And this is actually the first item that I've purchased since the last time we've talked. It's been what, 5-6 weeks since we've talked? I think I actually recorded the podcast 6 or 7 weeks ago. I went to my local knitting store, my LYS, my local knitting store, was having a local knitting store day. And in her shop, she sells hand pottery. So these are created by, hang on a second, Pawley Studios, Pawley Studios. I will try to link them down in the description box below. Okay, I totally get it. It's got a little paw down there. So these are handcrafted ceramic mugs. And on them, guys, this is my local knitting store. On them, she does Isabel's Parlor's stamp. So my local knitting store is Isabel's Parlor. And on this side, it says, gauging is for sissies. I love it. It's this great purple color. It's 100% ceramic. It's a fantastic mug. It is a little too big for hot coffee, to be honest with you. It's a large mug, guys. It's way over 8 ounces. It's fantastic. I like to put other beverages in here. So if I'm doing iced coffee or I'm doing like other beverages throughout the day, whatever it is, totally great. The ceramic keeps it nice and cold. This was my first acquisition. I know it's really not yarn, but it was yarn related, so I told you. When I was there, besides the mug, during local yarn store day, proprietress Leslie Wolf brought in a trunk show by Dream in Color. She is Dream in Color Yarn Company, and she had this beautiful trunk show. Isabel's Parlor does carry Dream in Color colors and yarn all the time, but she did bring in the proprietress and the dyer behind Dream in Color for a specific trunk show for us, which was really, really cool. So this is on the, hey, I love this. I'm just gonna hold it up. I'm gonna let you guys see it. Okay, I love this colorway. Sad day, it's one of a kind, it's non-repeatable, which is really sad. It has got these browns and grays and blues in here and tans and creams. It's just gorgeous. It is a gorgeous color. It is one of a kind, so she has labeled it one of a kind. It is in the smooshy fingering weight base, 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, 4 ounce skein, and 420 yards. I think that's approximately 400 meters, give or take a little bit. Suggested needle size is US 0 to US 2 needles. Sorry guys, I do not remember what that is in metrics. It's machine wash cold, lay flat to dry, or tumble dry low, remove while still damp, yada yada yada. And it's designed for everyday wear. I actually really love this little part of her ball band. I think this is fantastic. It tells you what it's designed for. It's designed for everyday wear. Why can't other designers help me out like that? I don't know. But I really loved this color. I wish I could have gotten more of this. I wish she would dye more of this. I would love a sweater quantities of this. Not that I could really afford it, but I would love it. Okay, I can't afford it, but it would be one of those things that I couldn't afford to do tons and tons of times. While I was there, I also got a second one-of-a-kind color. I'm gonna hold this up for you. I love this colorway as well. So apparently I was on a navy kick, by the way, sorry. But it's navy, light gray, speckles of, there's like this deep maroony, orangey red in here, like this rusty red. These lighter speckles of, see if I can find a good section, lighter speckles of like teals and yellows in here. It is just gorgeous. So this is also a one-of-a-kind skein. It is on her smooshy fingering weight base, yada, yada, yada. All those facts that I just read for the last one. Because they're one-of-a-kind, they do not have color names. It is designed for, again, daily wear. It is just, I love these. And, you know, again, I have no idea what these things are going to grow up to be. No clue. This one, the variations are much bolder. These are really subtle, and I like both of them, but I like them for completely different reasons. I have no idea what they're going to be. Probably not socks. They might turn into like a hat or something for me. I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? I'm still getting them up. They're going to marinate my stash for a while, to borrow Chevy from Cheverell's Stuff podcast term. They're going to marinate my stash. Now, also, during my local yarn store day, I purchased this really gorgeous skein of Sweet Georgia Tough Love sock. I'm going to hold it up for you. This skein, this base, I don't know what's showing up on camera because I can't see it. What I can see is my lens and that. It could potentially turn up slightly grayer on screen. It is actually a seriously pale lavender purple color that almost looks gray. So it's like a gray that has a lavender tint to it, basically. And then these deep, rich purples in here. And then a few speckles of some almost pinky purple. I'm not a huge fan of pink. Okay, guys, I'll be honest, I don't like pink at all. I really don't. It's not my thing, but these are purple enough, I can swing it. So again, this is Sweet Georgia Tough Love sock. Love Tough Love sock from her. I can tell you guys that story at another time, but this is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It's 425 yards, 388 meters per a 4-ounce or 115 gram skein. The recommended needles are a US 0 or 1 or 2 or 2.25 millimeter needle. The color is Anthem. Huh, that's really funny. I love that name. The color is Anthem. It's hand dyed in Canada. I did not know Sweet Georgia was in Canada. Let's see, hand or machine wash gently, lay flat to dry. So I actually bought this skein for a very specific purpose in mind. I want to knit another pair of Rose City rollers. I needed yarn to knit a pair of Rose City rollers. As I might have talked about in previous episodes when it came to finding yarn to do my socks, my London Bee Ridge socks here, I struggled to find sock yarn in my stash. I know I want to knit another pair of Rose City rollers. These are going to be it. I knew that. Now, seeing this colorway, it's beautiful. I almost want to knit something else out of it, but we'll see. It was intentionally bought to make a pair of Rose City rollers. Okay, so that was all I bought at my local yarn store day. However, I did purchase one other thing since we've last talked. Paintbox Yarn's Wool Mix Aran. And what this is 50% wool, 50% acrylic. It comes in a 100 gram skein. 3.5 ounces, 180 meters, or 196 yards. I think I did, maybe I did, maybe I didn't, I don't know. Who knows? If I haven't, I should do one. I think I did a yarn review of this yarn. Actually, I'm pretty sure I did. I'll link it down below. I purchased this when I did because they were running a sale and it was 30% off. And I could actually find a colorway that I liked. Because typically when they run a 30% off sale of this particular yarn, the colorways all sell out really, really fast. So I saw the email, I got on, the colorways I liked, all of them were still there, or most of them were still there. So I went ahead and I bought 10 skeins of this yarn. Now, I'm going to be using this to do the Building Blocks blanket by Michelle Hunter. So I bought 10 skeins of that. I've been wanting to do that blanket for a really long time. I borrowed the pattern book from a friend of mine who hadn't used it. So she kind of gave it to me, but I feel kind of bad, so I want to get it. Color 803. I know on the website it actually has a color name. It doesn't actually have a color name on the ball band. Again, this was bought for very specific use. Once I finish my Longline Cardigan, this is the project that I will be starting. And I plan, because it's blocks, I plan to do 2 or 3 blocks and then do something else and then come back, do another 2 or 3 blocks, do something else, you know, something like that. So I'm not having a giant blanket sitting in my lap in the middle of July in Phoenix, which by the way, will be really, really warm. There is that. That is all the stash enhancements that I have for today. On to my life update. For those of you who don't want to hear this, thank you guys so much for joining me for all the fiber related content. Please like, subscribe right down there, right above that description box below. If you didn't like it, thumbs down. I'm cool with it. We're fine. Why you guys would still be here if you didn't like it, I don't know. But thank you guys for joining me. This is my life update. A few things. I'm gonna start with my dog. How about that? So last time on the last episode, I told you guys I got a new puppy. He is a retriever, like a Labrador retriever, Rottweiler, Australian Shepherd mix. And I didn't have a name for him last time. So I've actually decided to name him Tucker. And he is doing great. He is growing like a weed. He is super smart. Unfortunately, he also got some of the Randi stubbornness in him, but he's still really young and he's figuring things out and he's learning at an amazing rate. So that's really good. His training is going pretty well. We're just doing the basics, sit, stay, down, heel, that kind of stuff. Right now, we're gonna kind of go through some further stuff as he gets a little bit older, but he's gotta master the simple stuff too, right? He can climb stairs, which is kind of funny because I live in a ranch house. So trying to find stairs was kind of entertaining. I did find some, FYI. I used my parents' spa with their steps up into their spa. I borrowed that. Taught my dog how to climb stairs. So yeah, he's doing good. He's almost 16 weeks old at the time of recording. I'm pretty sure by the time I get this up or edited and up, he will be over 16 weeks. Tucker is doing great. I keep looking over here because there's a patio door and it's a beautiful day outside. And so he's laying over there, completely zonked out. He's been running around the backyard because it's been so nice and gorgeous outside. So that's where he's at. I kind of have to keep an eye on him. Again, he's still a puppy, so who knows. Other things, you know, I've kind of, as I've been working so much, as you guys heard in the last episode, I went through a very stressful period even after I filmed the last episode. I have since kind of come back around and I've kind of come to realize a few things along the way concerning that. And a lot of it has to do with I'm better at being me. Or I'm better when I am fully me. And what I mean by that is I'm a little bit crazy. I'm sorry. I am. I'm a little bit crazy. I'm a little bit nutty. I'm a little bit weird. Okay, I'm actually more than a little bit crazy. I'm a lot of it crazy. And I've kind of realized I gotta get back to being okay with that. Somewhere along the line during the pandemic and my massive work schedule, I work a ton of hours. I still work a ton of hours. I lost that being okay with being a little, you know, being crazy, being a little bit weird, being a little off the wall. So I realized kind of get back to that. And part of that is just kind of, you know, that's allowed me to regroup in a lot of ways, which has been really awesome. It's been a great learning experience for me to regroup. And it's allowed me to, you know, gain control of certain other things. So there's that. In the last few days, I did have, 2 weeks ago now. By the time I get this up, a solid 2 weeks ago now, I had a procedure to remove a bone chip. Not really a big thing, to be honest with you. It kind of forced me to slow down a little bit, which is part of the reason why I could actually sit here and podcast with you today. I guess that medical procedure was a, you know, blessing in disguise, I guess is the word I'm going to go with. So that's great. That's really awesome. But you guys noticed I was a little stiff in movement today. It took me a little longer to hold things up. It was a little bit more painful for me to hold things up. And that's just from, you know, what was going on. I'm fine. Don't worry about that. Some other fun stuff. I bought some new sandals. You guys can't see my sandals because, again, I'm not holding my foot up. But they're really comfortable. That's all I got to say. So I'm super excited about my sandals. I bought them like 2 weeks ago, and I don't think I've worn anything else since. Long story short, I bought new sandals. I'm so excited. So other exciting news is that here in the United States, more and more people are becoming vaccinated, and more people are, more and more states are opening up, you can do more things. My local knitting group has gotten back to meeting in person, and as more people get vaccinated, or as people get vaccinated, our group continues to grow, which is great. And as such, we have kind of started sitting here going, okay, well, let's plan some other like knitting like outings. So we've decided to, you know, not immediately, by the way, this is not an immediate thing. We're still thinking this is like 3 to 4 months down the road as, you know, vaccinations and stuff continue here in the United States. We might be able to visit other yarn stores that are within driving distance for the day. And then, you know, we're kind of, you know, expanding our horizons. Let's say that. So that is really awesome for us. Guys, I think that's everything I've got for the life update. Yeah, I think that's it. Definitely it. So if you guys have stuck with me this long, thank you guys so much. I know this has been a crazy episode, but as I said, I'm getting back to the crazy. I'm starting to own it. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up. If you guys like more episodes like this, go ahead and click that subscribe button near the description box below. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Come back and visit me again. And until next time, stay crazy, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.